I'm standing on my mother's porch on Christmas Eve. Suitcase wheels leaving tracks in the fresh snow. My hands shake as I knock. The door opens, and Mom's face twists with anger the second she sees me. "Evelyn, what are you doing here?" Her voice cuts through the cold air like a blade. "I just wanted to see you and Dad for Christmas," I whisper, my breath forming clouds between us. Inside, I hear laughter and holiday music playing. "You're not welcome here anymore. Don't bring your mess into this house." She starts closing the door. "Mom, please." My voice cracks. The door slams in my face. Through the frosted window, I see shadows moving, hear glasses clinking. My own family celebrating without me. Tears blur my vision as I stumble backward down the steps. "You don't deserve this, Evelyn." Familiar voice speaks behind me. I turn to see Noah, my childhood friend, standing by his truck. "They don't even know what you did for them." My heart pounds. How much does he know? 1 week earlier, I sat in a sterile bank office, signing papers that drained my entire savings account. My hand trembled as I wrote the amount. $43,000. Every penny I'd saved for 3 years. My apartment down payment. My future security. The bank manager, Mr. Wilson, studied me carefully. "Ms. Hart, are you absolutely certain about this? This is your parents' mortgage we're discussing." "I'm sure," I said quietly. "And you want to remain anonymous?" He nodded. "They can never know it came from me." Mr. Wilson leaned forward. "I have to tell you, they were 3 months behind. Foreclosure proceedings were starting. You just saved their house." I swallowed hard. "How long before they find out someone helped them?" "They'll be notified the debt is cleared by tomorrow morning. But your name won't appear anywhere unless you want it to." I stood up, legs weak. "Keep it anonymous." As I left, Mr. Wilson called after me. "They're lucky to have a daughter like you, even if they don't know it." My mother's voice carried across the fence to Mrs. Anderson next door. I watched from my car parked down the street, windows cracked just enough to hear. "Evelyn." Oh, she ran off with credit card debt and left us hanging. Completely selfish girl. Mom's laugh was bitter. "I raised her better than that, but some people just refuse to grow up." Mrs. Anderson made a sympathetic noise. "My youngest, Chloe, would never do something like that. She's always been the responsible one." Mom's voice swelled with pride. "Chloe actually cares about family." My hands gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles turned white. She was telling everyone I abandoned them. The truth was the opposite. I just sacrificed everything to save them. Later that night, I scrolled through Mom's social media. She'd posted a status. "So grateful for my daughter Chloe, who truly understands family values. Some children are blessings, others are lessons." The comments were full of sympathy, people asking what happened with me. Mom responded to each one, painting me as ungrateful and irresponsible. Noah texted me, "Don't read that stuff. You know the truth." But knowing the truth didn't stop it from hurting. My phone rang at midnight 5 days before Christmas. Dad's number flashed on the screen. My heart leaped. Maybe he wanted to see me after all. "Hello," I answered, hope flooding my chest. "Evelyn." Dad's voice was soft, warm. "I miss you, sweetheart. I wish." "Peter, hang up that phone right now." Mom's voice screeched in the background. "Don't you dare let her manipulate you into giving her money again. But she's our daughter." "Hang up." The line went dead. I stared at my phone, tears streaming down my face. He missed me. He wanted to talk. But she controlled everything. 10 minutes later, Noah called. "Evelyn, I recorded that voicemail before your dad deleted it. The whole thing, including what your mom said in the background." "Why would you do that?" "Because someday the truth needs to come out. And when it does, you'll need proof that you tried. That you cared." His voice was gentle. "I'm keeping it safe for you." I didn't know then how important that recording would become. Mom answered her phone on the second ring. I listened from Noah's truck, parked outside the coffee shop where he'd called her, pretending to be from the mortgage company. "Mrs. Hart." This is calling from First National Bank. I have remarkable news about your account. What is it? Mom's voice was sharp with suspicion. Your mortgage debt has been completely cleared. Paid in full. $43,000. Silence. Then a gasp. That's impossible. We were behind on payments. How? An anonymous donor paid the entire balance yesterday. Consider it an early Christmas miracle. Mom started crying. Who would do this? I'm not authorized to disclose that information. Merry Christmas, Mrs. Hart. Noah hung up and looked at me. She's about to tell everyone about her miracle. Within an hour, Mom's social media exploded. God answered our prayers. An anonymous angel saved our home. Christmas miracles are real. The post got hundreds of likes. I watched through tears as strangers congratulated her, as friends praised her faith, as the community celebrated her good fortune. Not one person knew the angel was me. The text came from Dad's number 3 days before Christmas. Come home for Christmas. Mom's changed her mind. She wants to see you. Please come. We miss you. My hands shook as I read it 3 times. My heart hammered against my ribs. She wanted to see me. After everything, she was letting me come home. I texted back immediately. Really? You mean it? Yes. Christmas Eve. 6 p.m. Come home, Evelyn. I cried for 20 minutes, overwhelmed with relief. I bought presents, wrapped them carefully, rehearsed what I'd say. Maybe the mortgage miracle had softened her heart. Maybe she was ready to forgive whatever she thought I'd done wrong. Christmas Eve arrived cold and clear. I drove to the house, my hands trembling on the wheel. I parked and walked up the familiar driveway, suitcase rolling behind me. I knocked. Mom opened the door. Her face wasn't soft. It was furious. What are you doing here, Evelyn? Dad texted me. He said you wanted. I told you not to come back. She stepped forward, forcing me back. How dare you show up here? Behind her, Chloe smirked from the hallway. That's when I understood. The text wasn't from Dad. It was from her. I collapsed in my car, parked 2 blocks from the house. Sobs wrecked through my body so hard I couldn't breathe. The dashboard clock read 6:47 p.m. Families everywhere were gathering for Christmas Eve dinner. Mine had just slammed the door in my face again. A knock on my window made me jump. Noah stood outside, concerned eyes studying me through the glass. I unlocked the door. How did you know I was here? My voice came out strangled. I've been watching the house. I had a feeling something wasn't right. He climbed into the passenger seat. Evelyn, you can't keep doing this to yourself. She hates me, Noah. And I don't even know why. You deserve to see how much you've done for them. He pulled out his phone and opened a document. Look at this. Look whose name is on the title now. I squinted at the screen through my tears. The property deed for my parents' house loaded slowly. And there, listed as co-owner alongside Mom and Dad, was my name. What is this? Your mortgage payment made you a legal partial owner. The bank processed it differently because of the amount and circumstances. My breath caught in my throat. I own part of their house. Noah nodded. Technically, yes. The way the payment was structured, with you covering the full missed amount plus penalties, it gave you a legal stake. The bank filed it as a co-ownership agreement to protect your investment. They don't know this, do they? Not yet. The paperwork takes time to process. They'll get notification letters eventually. I stared at the document, my name printed in official black letters next to my parents' names. Evelyn Rose Hart, owner. You could evict them if you wanted to, Noah said quietly. Force a sale. Legally, you have that right now. The thought made me sick. No, I'm not like her. I didn't do this to control them or hurt them. I handed back his phone. I did it because they're my parents and I love them, even if they can't love me back. Noah's expression softened. That's the difference between you and her, Evelyn. You do the right thing even when it costs you everything. It doesn't feel like the right thing. It feels like I'm just a fool. You're not a fool. Or kind. The world needs more of that. The next morning I stopped at the grocery store for coffee. Mrs. Finnegan, our old neighbor, spotted me in the cereal aisle. Evelyn Hart. Is that you? She hurried over, her kind face creased with concern. Dear, I've been meaning to call you. Hi, Mrs. Finnegan. How are you? She glanced around, then lowered her voice. I need to tell you something. Your mother has been telling everyone in the neighborhood that you refused to help when they were drowning in debt. She says you ignored their calls and wouldn't send a penny. My stomach dropped. She said that. To anyone who'll listen. She's been playing the victim, saying she raised an ungrateful daughter who abandoned the family in their darkest hour. Mrs. Finnegan touched my arm gently. But I know you, dear. I watched you grow up. And I don't believe it for a second. Thank you, I whispered. Whatever the truth is, it'll come out eventually. It always does. I left the store with new determination. Mrs. Finnegan was right. The truth would come out. And I decided it would come out on Christmas Day. Through the front window, I watched my family's Christmas dinner party unfold. 15 people crowded around the decorated table, candles flickering, glasses raised in toasts. Mom sat at the head, radiant in a red dress, presiding over her perfect Christmas. Chloe's fiancé, Brandon, sat beside her, looking smug in his expensive suit. He was a real estate agent who never stopped bragging about his sales record. To being debt-free. Mom raised her glass. It's truly a Christmas miracle. After months of struggle, an anonymous angel cleared our mortgage. We're finally free. Everyone clapped and cheered. And to my darling Chloe, Mom continued, beaming at my sister, who's marrying into such a successful family. Brandon's parents own 3 properties. Brandon stood up, clearly enjoying the attention. Actually, Mrs. Hart, I've been meaning to tell you something about your mortgage miracle. The room quieted. I have connections at First National Bank. I did some digging into your case because I was curious. He paused dramatically. It wasn't the bank's charity program that saved you. It was a private payment. From someone specific. Mom's smile flickered. What do you mean? Who? The payment came from Evelyn Hart. The entire table went silent. Forks froze halfway to mouths. Wine glasses stopped mid-sip. Even the Christmas music seemed to pause. Mom's face drained of color. That's impossible. I saw the records myself, Brandon continued, oblivious to the tension he'd created. $43,000, paid in full on December 16th. The name on the transfer was definitely Evelyn Hart. You're lying. M's voice shook. My daughter wouldn't, she doesn't have that kind of money. She can barely take care of herself. Chloe shifted uncomfortably in her seat. Dad set down his glass, his hand trembling. Catherine, maybe. No. Mom stood abruptly, her chair scraping against the floor. This is some kind of mistake. Brandon, you read it wrong. I didn't read it wrong, Mrs. Hart. I'm a real estate professional. I know how to read financial documents. The front door opened. Noah walked in, snow dusting his shoulders, holding a folder of papers. Evening, everyone. Merry Christmas. His voice was calm but firm. I have copies of the mortgage documents right here if anyone wants to verify the truth. Your daughter Evelyn saved your house. You should thank her. Mom's face turned from white to red in seconds. How dare you come into my home with lies? She marched toward Noah. Get out. These aren't lies, Mrs. Hart. Noah held up the folder, but she slapped it out of his hands. Papers were scattered across the hardwood floor. Get out of my house. Mom screamed. Dad stood up. Catherine, please. You stay out of this, Peter. Mom turned back to Noah, her finger jabbing toward the door. Leave now, or I'm calling the police. Noah looked past her, meeting my eyes through the window. I crept closer to watch, my heart pounding. He nodded slightly, gathered the scattered papers, and walked out. I expected Mom to calm down after he left. Instead, she turned to the dinner guests. I'm so sorry you all had to witness that disruption. Some people can't handle others' happiness. Her laugh was brittle, forced. Now, where were we? But the dinner party was ruined. Guests exchanged uncomfortable glances. Within 20 minutes, people began making excuses to leave. I watched Chloe follow Mom into the kitchen. Through the window, I saw my sister's mouth moving, saying something that made Mom's shoulders stiffen. Dad found me sitting in Noah's truck 2 houses down. He tapped on the window, his breath forming white clouds in the freezing air. I rolled it down. Evelyn. His eyes were red, whether from cold or tears I couldn't tell. I need to tell you something. Dad, you don't have to. Yes, I do. I knew. His voice broke. I've known all along that you paid the mortgage. The bank called me first before they called your mother. They needed to verify our identity, and they mentioned the name on the payment. I recognized your full name, Evelyn Rose Hart. My chest tightened. You knew. This whole time. Your mother forbade me from telling you. She said if I contacted you or admitted you helped us, she'd leave me. She couldn't stand the idea that you saved us when she'd been telling everyone you abandoned us. He wiped his eyes. I'm sorry, Evelyn. I'm a coward. I chose keeping my marriage over defending my daughter. Why does she hate me so much? She doesn't hate you. She hates herself for needing you. He stepped back. But that doesn't make what we've done to you right. I'm sorry. He turned and walked back toward the house. I whispered to his retreating figure. Then you both deserve what's coming. Noah uploaded the video at midnight. He'd recorded everything from the moment he walked into the Christmas dinner until Mom threw him out. The audio was crystal clear. Mom denying I'd helped, her screaming at Noah, her refusing to acknowledge the truth even when presented with documents. By morning, the video had 3,000 views. By noon, 30,000. By evening on December 26th, it had been shared over 100,000 times. The comments flooded in like an avalanche. How could a mother treat her daughter this way? That poor girl saved their house and got screamed at for it. The daughter is a hero. The mother is ungrateful. This is heartbreaking. I hope Evelyn finds peace. Local news stations picked it up. Christmas miracle turns into family drama. Daughter's anonymous gift rejected. Mom's perfect image crumbled overnight. Her social media posts from earlier, the ones thanking God for the miracle, now appeared alongside the dinner video. People connected the dots immediately. Her phone rang constantly. Friends calling to ask if it was true. Neighbors demanding explanations. Her church group expressed disappointment. Mom's public image, the one she'd carefully crafted as the victim of an ungrateful daughter, shattered into pieces. Chloe called me 3 days after Christmas. I almost didn't answer. Evelyn, please listen. My sister's voice was small, scared. I need to tell you something. What could you possibly have to say to me? I know why Mom treats you the way she does. She told me last night when she was crying. Chloe took a shaky breath. You look exactly like Aunt Louise. Aunt Louise. Mom's sister who died. Yes, but she didn't just die, Evelyn. Aunt Louise ran away with Mom's first fiancé 25 years ago. Mom was engaged before she met Dad. Her sister betrayed her and stole the man she loved. My heart stopped. What? Every time Mom looks at you, she sees Aunt Louise. You have the same eyes, same smile, same voice. It reminds her of the worst betrayal of her life. Chloe's voice cracked. It's not fair to you. It's never been fair. But that's why she's always treated you differently. She couldn't separate you from her pain. That's not my fault, I whispered. I know. And I'm sorry I never stood up for you. I'm recording this conversation, Evelyn. I'm going to send you the audio file of Mom's full confession from last night. You deserve to know everything. The letter arrived on New Year's Eve. Official bank letterhead, delivered by registered mail. Ms. Evelyn Hart, regarding property at 247 Oakwood Drive. I read it 3 times, my hands shaking. The bank had discovered an issue with the refinancing my parents had applied for months ago, before their financial troubles. The original agreement required both property owners to sign off on any refinancing or major property changes. Since I was now listed as a co-owner due to my payment structure, they needed my signature to complete the process. Without my approval, my parents couldn't refinance, couldn't take out additional loans against the house, and couldn't make major decisions about the property. I was on the deed. I had legal power. The letter included several options. One caught my attention. I could request a forced sale of the property if co-owners couldn't reach an agreement on its use. Called Noah. Can they really force this? Legally. If you want to sell your share and your parents don't agree to buy you out, the court can order the whole house sold and the proceeds divided. My finger hovered over the signature line. I thought about Christmas Eve. The slammed door. The cruel text. The years of being called ungrateful. I signed the papers requesting the sale. The for sale sign appeared in my parents' front yard on January 3rd. I wasn't there to see Mom's reaction, but Mrs. Finnegan called me immediately. Your mother fainted right on the front lawn, dear. The ambulance came and everything. She's okay physically, but she's beside herself. I stood at the property line that evening, hidden partially behind Noah's truck. The for sale sign glowed under the streetlight. Dad stood on the porch, staring at it like he couldn't believe it was real. Mom appeared in the doorway behind him, her face swollen from crying. I whispered to myself, not caring if anyone heard, "Now you'll finally know what it feels like to lose something that matters." My phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "You're an inspiration. Stay strong." Then another. "Your story helped me stand up to my own family. Thank you." The viral video had created something I never expected. A community of people who understood what it felt like to be rejected by the people who should love you most. Donations started arriving. People are sending me money to help rebuild my savings. Job offers from companies that had seen the news coverage. Meanwhile, Mom's world continued to fall apart. Friends stopped calling. Her church asked her to step down from the volunteer board. Dad called me on January 5th. I let it ring 3 times before answering. "Evelyn, please. You have to stop this." His voice was desperate, broken. "Your mother's in the hospital." The stress, she collapsed again. "The doctor says her blood pressure is dangerously high. I'm sorry she's not well. Please don't do this. Don't sell the house. We'll lose everything. Where will we go?" Where was I supposed to go when she slammed the door in my face on Christmas Eve, Dad? Silence. "I did everything right," I continued, my voice steady despite the tears running down my face. "I saved money. I worked hard. Paid your mortgage. Asked for nothing in return. And she treated me like garbage. She told the whole world I was worthless." "I know. You're right. But she's sick, Evelyn. Please. I'm not stopping the sale. But I'll visit her. Once." I hung up before he could respond. The next morning I drove to County Memorial Hospital. The woman at the front desk directed me to room 304. I stood outside for 5 minutes, gathering courage. Finally I pushed open the door. Mom looked smaller in the hospital bed, her face pale against the white pillows. 4 tubes ran from her arms. The machines beeped steadily, monitoring her heart rate. She turned her head when I entered. Eyes met. "Why did you come?" Her voice was hoarse, weak. "Because Dad called me. He said you're sick." "I mean, why did you do it? Pay our mortgage." Her eyes filled with tears. "Why help people who treated you so terribly?" I pulled a chair close to the bed and sat down. "Do you really want to know?" She nodded. "Because despite everything, you're still my mother. Because I was raised to help family, even when they hurt me. Because I hoped that maybe, somehow, if I saved your house, you'd finally see that I'm not your enemy." My voice cracked. "But mostly, I did it because you taught me that money means more than love. And I wanted to prove I could be better than that lesson." Mom closed her eyes, tears streaming down her temples into her hair. I was wrong, Evelyn, about everything. You're not Louise. You never were. I just couldn't see past my own pain. That doesn't make it okay. I know. But I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The sold sign appeared 2 weeks later. The buyer's name was listed on the documents. Mrs. Dorothy Finnegan. I met her at the coffee shop the day after closing. You bought my parents' house? Asked stunned. Mrs. Finnegan smiled gently. My late husband left me quite comfortable, dear. When I heard about the situation, I thought about your family and how much love that house used to hold when you were little. She stirred her tea slowly. I'm going to rent it back to your parents at an affordable rate. They won't lose their home. Why would you do that? Because I believe in second chances. And because that house deserves to be filled with love again, not bitterness. She patted my hand. I'll make sure it's treated with the kindness it was always meant to have. I started crying right there in the coffee shop. When Mom and Dad found out they could stay in the house as renters, Dad called me immediately. Mrs. Finnegan said you arranged this. I didn't. She did it on her own. But you didn't have to agree to her offer. You could have insisted on another buyer, someone who'd force us out. I'm not you, Dad. I don't punish people just to make myself feel better. Chloe showed up at my apartment 3 weeks after the house sold. I almost didn't let her in, but something in her face made me open the door. Mom's turned on me too, she said, standing in my doorway with a small suitcase. She's blaming me for everything that went wrong. She says I should have stopped you, that I should have convinced you to give up your claim on the house. And now you want to stay here. I know I don't deserve it. I was horrible to you. The fake text, the lies, all of it. Chloe's voice trembled. But I want to make it right. I want to tell everyone the truth. The truth is already out there. Not all of it. Not my part in it. People need to know I tricked you into coming on Christmas Eve. They need to know I was just as cruel as Mom. She looked at me with desperate eyes. Let me stay, and I'll post a video confession. I'll tell the world everything. I studied my sister's face. For the first time in years, I saw genuine remorse there. One condition. You tell the complete truth. No leaving parts out to make yourself look better. I promise. Chloe's video went live the next morning. I watched it from my couch, Noah sitting beside me. My name is Chloe Hart, and I need to confess something. My sister's face filled the screen, eyes red from crying. My sister Evelyn saved my family's house by paying $43,000 of her own money. She did it anonymously because she's a better person than any of us deserved. She explained everything. The fake text that brought me to the house on Christmas Eve. The lies Mom had told about me to neighbors and friends. The way our family had treated me for years. Evelyn was never the problem. We were. Mom couldn't see past her own hurt, and I was too scared to stand up for what was right. Chloe wiped her eyes. Evelyn, if you're watching this, I'm sorry for everything. You deserved better from all of us. Thank you for being the kind of person who saves people who don't deserve saving. The video had 50,000 views in 4 hours. The comments were overwhelming. That takes real courage to admit. Both sisters deserve peace. Families are complicated, but honesty is always the first step to healing. Mom called me that night. I saw Chloe's video. And my own daughters. Both telling the world I failed them. Her voice broke. Maybe I did. Christmas morning 1 year later. I woke up in my new apartment, the one I could finally afford after accepting a job offer from one of the companies that contacted me after the story went viral. Sunlight streamed through the windows. Snow fell gently outside. On my kitchen table sat a card that had arrived in yesterday's mail. The return address was my parents' house. Well, Mrs. Finnegan's house, where they now rented. I opened it slowly. The card was simple, a winter scene with a church. Inside, in my mother's careful handwriting. Evelyn, I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. I know one card can't undo years of hurt. But I want to see you. Not to ask for anything. just to tell you face to face how proud I am of the person you've become despite having me as a mother. Please feel free to visit when you're ready. Love, Mom. At the bottom, Dad had added, "We miss you, Evelyn. The door is always open now. I promise." I held the card for a long time, feeling the weight of it. Noah came over for coffee that morning. "You going to go?" "I think so. Eventually. You don't owe them anything, you know." "I know. But maybe I owe myself the chance to see if things can be different." I drove to the house on December 28th. Not Christmas Day, I wasn't ready for that yet. But close enough. Mom answered the door. She looked older, more tired, but her eyes softened when she saw me. "You came." She stepped back. "Please come in." The house looked different. Smaller somehow. Less threatening. Mrs. Finnegan had redecorated slightly, adding warmer touches. Family photos lined the hallway, including several of me that had been missing before. We sat in the living room. Dad made tea with shaking hands. "I'm proud of you, Evelyn," Mom said quietly. "I should have said that years ago. Dilly. I should have celebrated every accomplishment instead of resenting them because they reminded me of Louise. Chloe told me about Aunt Louise. She had no right to tell you that. It wasn't her story to share." Mom twisted her hands. "But I'm glad you know. Doesn't excuse how I treated you. Nothing excuses that. But maybe it helps you understand that my cruelty was never really about you." We talked for 2 hours. Really talked for the first time in years. When I stood to leave, Mom hugged me. A real hug, not the stiff, obligatory kind. I left an envelope on the coffee table. Mom called me 20 minutes after I left. "Evelyn, what is this?" "Open it," I said, pulling over to the side of the road. I heard paper rustling through the phone. Then a gasp. "This is the deed to the house. But my name, our names, they're fully on it. Not Mrs. Finnegan's anymore." Mom's voice shook. "What did you do?" "I bought the house from Mrs. Finnegan last week. And I transferred ownership fully back to you and Dad. No strings attached. It's yours again. Free and clear." I took a deep breath. "You can keep the house, Mom. I already found my home." "What do you mean?" "Peace. Found peace. And that's worth more than any property or money or proving a point." Mom started crying. "Evelyn, I don't understand why." "Because you're my mother. And because holding on to anger was costing me more than letting it go. I don't forget what happened. But I forgive it. For my sake, not yours." "Thank you. Thank you so much." We said goodbye. I sat in my car for a moment, watching snow fall on the quiet street. Then I drove away from that house, from that chapter of my life, toward whatever came next. The rearview mirror showed the place I'd grown up getting smaller and smaller. But this time I wasn't running from rejection. I was driving toward the future I'd built for myself, one where my worth wasn't determined by whether my family could see it. I'd saved them because I chose to, not because they deserved it. And in the end, that choice saved me too.